Y'all, I grew up in Maryland, and I don't really have a southern accent, but I tend to say y'all. And I like that because it's not just you, it's you all, and it's all of us, and I like that. It's the collective, and I know we say that again and again, but I think it's important to remember that and to say again that, you know, you're here at the table. I am lately challenged to kind of find the middle ground. I get very down when things aren't going well, and I get crazy up when things are, you know, I'm a little bit that way anyways, kind of mood, v. But it seems really pronounced these days. You know, days that I look at the news or, you know, try to do my taxes and I can't, or the computer goes on the fritz, and, you know, and then something goes right and I'm like, yay! But I think that I'm really aiming for the steadier thing. You know, you go up, you go down, things go in your favor or not. But I'm just trying to keep an even keel, steady as she goes, you know, so that I'm not horribly disappointed when suddenly everything's not rosy. And then I was listening to there's a guy named Eckhart Tolle who, he's just an interesting guy. He's a strange dude, but he was talking about the pain body. You know, that inside us is both the presence, that exalted divine presence, and there's also inside us the pain body, which is like we were talking about yesterday, the memory of pain, you know, that PTSD thing where suddenly you're flipping out, not so much by what's going on in the moment, but by some reverberation of a past hurt. You get triggered, and very often it's the pain body getting activated, that part inside that just has been hurt and maybe expects to be hurt again, and maybe even feeds off hurt somehow. It's not like we feed off hurt, but there's some weird internal energy that can get activated, that brings it in because it's familiar, or I don't know, but the pain body, I thought that was, it felt right to me. And his point was, you acknowledge it. You know, you don't say, pain body, get out of my face. You know, you don't fight with it, but you don't feed it. So you try to come back into your body that's not the pain body, and get into the presence, which is the moment that we can connect, you know, with the big presence. We have to be quiet. We don't want to let our past pain be the dominant thing in our hearts, in our souls. And the other thing I thought about was just backsliding, because that's sort of the up, down, you know, you go forward and then you feel like you're backsliding, and then you go forward and you feel like you're backsliding. And to somehow allow for that push-pull without panicking. And I just wanted to mention, I found this piece of paper where I described a dream that I'd had, and there's a notion in Gestalt therapy or in a lot of psychological philosophies that you're, including Jung, this is where archetypes come in, but that you're every character in the dream. If you're a little kid being chased by the monster through a dark forest, you're the kid. You're the monster. You're the dark forest. It's all these disparate parts of your psyche that are actually all you. And this was the dream I had written down. I was comforting a piano player who'd forgotten the tune. And this guy said, I knew he had Alzheimer's. And I said to him, don't worry, the piano playing is muscle memory. It's not short-term memory or long-term, it's muscle memory. And that's sort of not the pain body, but the presence inside of you that is unassailable. And in the dream, I had my arms around this guy. And I said, I'll walk you home. And he said, I don't know where I live. I don't know where home is. And I said, don't worry, it'll be okay. We'll work it out. And I think with that idea that you're everything in the dream, I'm the scared old man who's lost, and I'm the part of myself who can comfort, put my arms around myself and say it's going to be okay. There's a part of you that remembers. Don't stop trying to play. Whether it's the piano or whatever. So, that's kind of a long and rambling thing. But I think that business of being everything in the dream is a little bit like tarot. What the cards are showing you essentially is yourself and how you react to circumstance, or how you, the dialogue between you and your core self, your psyche. We're every character in the dream. We're every character on the board in a certain way. The hero, the villain, the monster, the forest. One more, please. Take a deep breath. Nine of Wands. That can be the wounded warrior. The person who's going to keep trying, to exert effort, to find their way, to endure, to summon the core strength. We strengthen our core at the gym or, in physical therapy, but this is core strength in the body. Solar plexus energy. It's just like, I can do this. This character does not look particularly happy. He's on that backsliding or not the high mood. May have been trying to do something again and again and again. One's energy to do it. And it might be that the internal light, that brightness of the fire energy feels like it's ebbing. you know, the guttering candle or the, you know, the fire that's just embers. Chariot. That's lovely. That's a major arcana card of forward movement, of victory, of emotional balance. You know, it's cups energy. And in order for chariot to move forward, you know, everything has to be in balance. You can't go this way and you can't go that way. It's finding that middle path, that, you know, where the emotions are stable. Not static, but things are pulling in the same direction. And this one is tired. They've been at it a long time, trying and trying and trying. And something in the psyche is bringing them balance emotionally through the, you know, highs and lows. Is it this? Okay. Is it this? Wow. Strength. In the same fire energy as Nine of Wands. This is overcoming obstacles, drawing on inner strength. Wands energy, solar plexus energy. I can do it. I can push through. My wounds, you know, the things that have been done to me or that I've done in my life that feel like backsliding or just mistakes I've made. Coming into emotional balance. Having the courage to move forward through the obstacles. That's exactly what this is. Tired but persevering. This is a card of Leo. Fire energy. Like the Nine of Rods, Nine of Wands. Is it this? Yes. Page of Cups. I think that's the heart, you know, coming back to life, this little fish jumping out of the cup. You know, it's not a Dixie cup. It's not a sippy cup. It's a sign that the heart is, you know, in this feelings energy of the Cancer, the water energy. Maybe after this Nine of Wands struggle and wounds, this is kind of coming back into the flow. Balanced Cancer energy, water energy, being revived. The pages are young. So somehow, after this tired exertion, feeling that I can't go on, summoning the strength for forward movement, and the heart comes back online. Back online, Wheel of Fortune. I mean, that's forward movement, like the Chariot. You know, there's movement, the wheel is turning, and it's turning in our favor. We put in a lot of effort. We really have. And it's paying off. 3 major arcana in 5 cards. And this refreshed, you know, the new feeling, the forward movement, you know, on the karmic path. It's also a card of divine timing. You know, it's time to come back to life, I think is, you know, to overcome exhaustion and disappointment and the injury of the wounded warrior. The universe is on our side. It's working with us, not against us. You know, it's everything we've done up to this point, done, Wands energy, has brought us to this place. The wheels of the chariot are turning. Is it this one? Queen of Swords, had her yesterday. You know, if there was an impediment, Queen of Swords would cut right through it. It's a very smart, discerning energy. And sometimes is described as a fierce energy. Here, this character doesn't look fierce. But she knows what she knows, he, she, they. You know, and the roses here kind of mitigate the sharpness of her sword, of her stance, of her, you know, it's as if what this person has been through has honed, you know, what they've been through has honed the sword. What's the truth? Page of Cups, Queen of Swords. Ace of Wands. That's a passionate new beginning. It's something growing. It's something in Wands energy. It's the renewal after this. Wounded, exhausted, just pushing through, feeling like, I don't know if I can go another step. The heart comes back online. It opens back up after this beating of Nine of Wands. And here's the creative impulse, the spark, the inspiration to keep going, to push through. Strength card, fire energy. The Ace of Wands, fire energy, and the 9. Pushing through to the new beginning. The heart opens up again. Tell us about the Queen of Swords. Fool. Also in fire energy, a card of Aries. The first card in the major arcana. Fresh and new. You know, it's considered the baby of the deck. I mean, it's the beginning of the journey. The page energy, youthful, the heart opening back up. And wands are directional. You know, this is the way I'm going to go. The ace card, the eye. I'm going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to jump into my own life. Life force energy, wands energy. At the beginning of the journey, you know, and, you know, the journey has been exhausting in a certain way. We have the strength and the courage to move forward, you know, successfully. Things are, you know, like pulling in tandem. In tandem. This is the card of the individual journey toward wholeness. And in a way, I think Queen of Swords knows how and when to take the leap of faith. Divine timing. And this is kind of, I always think of wheel as an opening, as a portal, as a, almost like a, you know, in a airlock. There's that, you know, there's that thing you can open so that you can pass through. You know, and it takes effort to do that. Wands energy, effort, fortitude, strength card. On 9 of Wands, Moon, a lot of major arcana here. This is a card of intuition, of divine feminine, of feelings. It can be of things coming to consciousness, and it can be a card of fear. You know, will I be able to make it? And the unconscious mind says, you betcha. You know, all these major arcana cards, which are the forces behind everyday life, they're in the collective unconscious, in the stories we all share, every character in the dream. I don't believe it, magician. You know, Virgo, Gemini, as above, Gemini, so below. These are sort of the two faces, the Gemini aspects, you know, where heaven and earth coalesce. And we understand it's really only one thing. This is the one card. You know, that's an apparent division. But when we're in that manifesting mode and he has every energy on the table in front of him, her, them, they can work with all the energies now to bring through the courage to take the leap, strength card, Fool, you know, to reignite the fire, to reignite the spark. This always strikes me as also as a root chakra energy, the you know, it's life force, it's sexual energy, it's procreative, it's creative. And the journey has begun. It's already begun. The forward movement of chariot, of wheel. Aces are the I card. I am the power and the glory. I am every character in the dream. You know, the tired one, the one coming back to life. Yeah, on Wheel of Fortune, 10 of Wands. Laying down the burden. The 9 to the 10. The burden of old wounds, maybe of I'm not good enough. You know, Fool on the journey to wholeness, you know, through every major arcana card. It's like in the psyche, you don't skip steps. You go from Fool to world. World being the inclusive thing, the culmination. And this is the end of a burdensome cycle. You know, this one has persevered. And now, time to lay down the burden and rest. Life will catch you. You can leap into your own life. It'll catch you. On Chariot. Is it this one? 9 of Swords. After fear and anxiety, you know, this can be fear of the unknown. Moon is what operates behind the scenes or below the conscious level. And here the mind is agitated and frightened and full of anxiety. But in comes emotional balance, Cups energy. It's sort of heart over head. You know, and this is the person kind of waking up from the nightmare. You know, I don't know the way home. I don't remember who I am. I don't remember how to play the piano. I've lost my creative spark. I don't know the way. The psyche says, yes, you do. You're on your way to emotional balance. Incoming. At the beginning of the journey. It's a new journey. You know, you've come such a long way. from the 10 of Wands to the Ace of Wands. You know, it's the cycle is completed, and now we can begin again, refreshed. Is there anything else? Yes. Is it this? Yes. Wow, Tower. I see that as a card of Scorpio. This changes everything. You know, I think we aren't who we thought we were. That old paradigm wasn't big enough. You know, our emotions, you know, the fear, the exhaustion. I think the unconscious mind is saying, you're liberated from that. I always see Tower as a card of liberation. It can be sudden, it can be scary. Because suddenly the psyche goes boom, and things that were unconscious come to consciousness. And in this case, suddenly, and you know, it's as if it's waking up. It's waking up from the nightmare. Now the feelings are released. And, you know, at first it may be scary. 9 of Swords. The mind says, you know, WTF is happening to me. And then balance is restored in that same water energy as Tower. You know, so ride the wave. You know, if you feel like everything's falling apart, it's really beginning again. It's a liberation of feelings. The heart is opening back up after whatever beating. I mean, there was a beating here, 9 of Wands. There was a wounding. 9 and 9, 9 of Swords, 9 of Rods, both challenging energies, is 18, is Moon. A new phase. In water energy. And I think the full moon is today, maybe tomorrow. You know, we're right on the cusp of it. Full moon in Libra. Sword energy. Clarity. Knowing truth from fiction. And in a way, this is a card of fiction. You know, our mind taking over. It's the fear body. I mean, in this case, it's the fear mind. But that idea of, you know, I'm not at home in myself. I don't know who I am. I don't know how to play the piano. I don't remember where I live. You live in something bigger than this. You know, this was no way in, no way out. And then the emotions go, pah, and there's this incredible release. Pah, the emotions go, boom. High Priestess, another card of Divine Feminine, of the mystery, of the seer. The one who knows the inner workings of the psyche. Can't explain it, but on that deep intuitive level, and again the rose in this character's hand. The rose and the sword knows, you know, in that cerebral sense, truth from fiction, and in that highly intuitive sense. And that individual would know that when the Tower comes down, intuition upticks. You know, your ability to accept the fact that you are a seer, you are a manifester, the 1 card, Magician, the 2 card, High Priestess. No pressure. You're a seer, a manifester. And whatever the pressure's been kind of got to the boiling point. That water energy just heating up so that things blast open. The old paradigm bursts away. This kind of fear energy, we burn right through it. One more. Ace of Pentacles. This is the seed, the new beginning in 3D. Something authentic, something real, something that's going to grow. Life force coming through in 3D. I'm growing. I'm powerful. I can do it. And there's a word that is escaping me, but it's viable. And, you know, it's something you can get your hands on. It's the psyche coming through. You know, once this goes kaboom, and we can see things more clearly beyond the veil, you know, clearly, the growth really begins. You know, somehow what we've been through, 9 of Wands, has landed us in this place. The seed. You're every character in the dream. You're the one who's afraid. You're the one who overcomes. You're the one who knows on the cerebral level. You're the one who knows intuitively. You're at the beginning of the journey. You have the courage to persevere. You rock. Kudos, you know. You've done the work. You've persevered. And the reward is the self. You're every character in the dream. That's it. Love you guys. Please do this. Please subscribe. Here comes Rue. She was in the closet behind me. Now she's out. She's in the world. She's going to frisk about. We're alive. What a blessing, you know. We're alive. I'll see you next time.